The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 53. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burly of BurlyMenGaming on Twitch and Turn-Based Carl. Burly, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing. I've just been having ISP issues, and not only is it affecting my streaming, it's been affecting my own work. So it's been fun.
Yeah. Carl, are you having ISP issues?
Oh, no, not at all. We're good here.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm feeling regenerative.
Ooh, regenerative. Okay. You'll have to explain that later for us, yeah?
Oh, that's just a hint at, something that we saw somewhere this week.
It's a spiritual opium.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spiritual opium, yeah. All right, so we're recording this. I just want to say this real quick. On September 11th, of course, this is the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks in America. So we want to say that all of you listeners and viewers out there that might have lost a loved one during that time, we're thinking about you. And thank you for your support and listening to our show. So with that said, today's show, we're going to be talking, of course, the main topic of the show is going to be about the PlayStation Showcase, the PS5 Showcase that happened just a little under 48 hours ago. And we're also going to be talking about Alan Wake. Alan Wake is going to be remastered and it's coming to PlayStation. We're going to be talking about that, as well as the new game releases for this coming week. So we will talk about that in a moment after we hear this message about where people can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and the post-show will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after recording. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month, and get early access to every episode and post-show, as well as listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post-show, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and on Expat's YouTube channels, Expat2020 Gaming, and the Arena Citadel. Just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave us questions and comments as well. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at thearenaAMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at thearena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys. First, let's talk about what we've been playing. I want to talk about, I started playing Life is Strange True Colors. I just started playing that. It's very good. I mean, if you're into Life is Strange, I mean, it's a really, really, excellent narrative. It's a tearjerker of a story. This one, it's in a different location. It's not in Washington State. It's in Colorado, in a fictional town called Haven Springs, I think it's called. and it's a mining town. And basically, in this small town, most of the people that live there are miners that they used to mine for silver back in like the 19th century there, but now they're mining for uranium in the mountains in the area of the town where this the game takes place. And of course, it's in third person mode, and you play as Alex Chen, and she's coming to live with her brother in Haven Springs. And I want to give a shout out to the voice actress Erika Mori. She's really, really good in this game. The character is really interesting. In Life is Strange, of course, most of the premise of the game is on a particular character that has, special powers. They're not superpowers, but they're like special types of powers. And so in this game, Alex Chen has the power of being able to sense a person's feelings and figure out what's going on due to those particular feelings. So she has like powers of empathy, so she can sense when people are feeling down and depressed, and then it also affects her as well. So when a person's feeling really angry, she gets angry as well. So it's the cast of characters in the game are really interesting as well. Mostly, I'd say 20s and 30s, early 30s, or mid to late 20s characters. And in the town, you're mostly in like a bar or in particular shops, like a record shop or in a flower shop with the other characters. And so there's in the game, of course, this is not a spoiler because it's it's in the press releases and all as well. But after Alex goes to visit and live with her brother tragically dies in a so-called accident, and so the game centers around Alex trying to figure out what's happening and why there's a supposed cover-up going on to what happened in this particular accident. So the game focuses on that. Visually it's pretty. I mean, seeing the mountains and the small town and walking around through it's a walking sim basically. And of course you have the dialogue trees, the dialogue choices, and then the thing about this game though is, and it's separate from the other Life is Strange games. The other Life is Strange games used to be episodic, where you would get chapter 1, and then like 2 months later, 3 months later, you would get chapter 2. Well, Life is Strange True Colors is one full game, but it's 5 chapters all put together into one full game. So at the end of every chapter, of course, as in the other Life is Strange games, it gives you the percentage of what you chose to do in a particular instance or particular scene in the game. For example, you chose to calm down a particular character, whereas if you didn't, most people like 95% did calm that person down, whereas 5% didn't. So you see the percentages of the choices that everybody that has played the game made. So I'm in chapter 3. It's a very powerful story. It's a moving story. It's like I said, it's a tearjerker in many instances. But it's getting interesting because it's she's really starting to go into investigation mode now, and dealing with people that were directly or indirectly involved, and feeding off of their emotions to figure out what's going on. So yeah, it's a good game. I really enjoy it, and I think people out there, especially since this is not in episodic mode, you can get this game and you can play it all 5 chapters together in one full game. I think that's a positive for this new addition to Life is Strange. So if you're thinking about getting it, I'm playing it on Xbox Series X. But it's also available on PlayStation as well. And it's coming to Nintendo Switch later on at a later date. But I highly recommend it. It's really good. And hopefully I'll have a little more information about it. I should have it finished by next week's episode. So that's what I've been playing. Burly, how about you?
I've been playing on my own time Undertale because I slept on that game, and a friend recommended it to me, and it's like, you can get it free because I bought PS Now this year, so it's like, oh, you can get it free access to this, and they also enticed me that it's an easy platinum trophy, so, and it is. But it was a fun little indie game just to go through and play.
Cool.
Highly recommend.
Awesome. Carl, how about you?
I finished up Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Did either of you guys keep playing that?
I'm in the middle of it. When I finish True Colors, I'm going to go back to it. So
when I can stream again, I'm going back to it.
Oh, I see. It's all about the streaming.
Yep.
No, I love that game. It is my game of the year right now.
Ooh.
Now, I guess I will put in the caveat or note that I probably haven't played any of the other games that people are even considering for game of the year. So that might have a bearing on why I think that. But this game, the game is incredible. I loved it so much. I mean, it's just the level design is just incredible. Yeah. Just the way that it like manipulates space and like warps things and alters things. I mean, just like there are some parts I'm mind bended. I'm like, how someone actually designs this in a video game, how it looks like if you were to zoom out of this level, I'm like, how would that even look? If you, like, because there were times when you're walking straight and you start to walk up like a wall because the world is sort of bending as you go, and I'm like, how is? And then he just continues around and goes in different directions. I'm like, this must look insane from an exploded like design view.
Yeah.
So it's impressive they managed to like have it work so well, and the character design, the world design is just so good. The dialogue, the humor. I mean, it's all on point. Gameplay. I mean, as far as controls of platforming, everything is really really solid and tight. I mean, I don't play a lot of those games, so maybe I don't have a ton of experience with that. But combat is fine. It's not anything wild or crazy, but it's there, and I don't mind. It's not like it detracts from it. It's just it's like, oh yeah, it just breaks up the jumping around, collecting stuff a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I really, really recommend that. And it's like, I would never have played this game. I just wasn't ever going to play it if it wasn't on Game Pass. I didn't, I wasn't going to buy it for sure.
And I think you were saying, right, Carl, that you actually started playing the original Psychonauts, right?
Yeah. So after I finished, I jumped in just to check it out.
Yeah.
And like immediately, as soon as I get control of that character, I'm like, oh God, the jumps, man, the jumps do not work anywhere near as well. It feels sluggish. No. Yeah, I was like, I'm so disappointed because I'm basically spoiled by the second game.
Yeah.
But I would say that like very interesting to go after playing that and look back at that game and how like everything is there. All the elements that are in the second game are in that first game. Like all the stylings, the creativity, like it's all there. It's just like held back by the look of it, right? The visuals are nowhere near as good as the ones in the new game, which have like just the most vibrant colors I've ever seen in a video game, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe again, it's like I got a nice TV with HDR, so like it looks amazing, but I mean, it's so colorful and like it's weird because I think a lot of the voice acting is the same, which is there's a huge gap between those two games, but it's cool that they got the same people, and a lot of the like animation and stylings of things are like I was surprised. I'm like, oh yeah, it's the exact same thing that I just played like in the new game. Like it's like they made this game in the way that like it's definitely like everything from the first game. We're just going to do that again, but we're going to make it play better. We're going to make it look better, and we're going to do a new story that's better. That's like more interesting. I don't know where the story goes in the first game, but I imagine it might not be as like more adult life themed. Like there's a lot of like mental health stuff discussed in the second game that's interesting. I don't think like kids are gonna play that game and be like, "Wow, this story is so interesting," because I don't think it has much meaning to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. That's how I played.
And Burly, you played through the first game, right? Already.
Oh yeah, I like the first game, but I do agree with Carl, like the jumps and the stuff like that. Some of the controls, it's like you can tell this is aged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I enjoy the one thing besides just the kooky world and like the writing in the first game was so good.
Okay.
Especially when you get later on, I really enjoyed the writing. But like as Carl did say, the second game just took, because I've made it a good way through the second game, just took everything from the first game and just improved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually would love for them to just do a nice remaster or even remake of the first game. Just bring it up to the level of the second game as far as like controls and appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do want to play it, but I don't think I will because it just feels terrible compared to what I just played.
Well, they're probably going to be working on Psychonauts 3 anyway, so who knows?
Oh, they got a new IP, supposedly. That's the next thing.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get to the weekly news beat. So, before we get to the PlayStation PS5 Showcase, there was some other Sony news earlier. Of course, we talked about Horizon Forbidden West last week and all the fiasco that was going on with that. Well, maybe it was that Forbes article we talked about in the last episode that was the tipping point. I don't know, guys. I'll get your read on that. But yeah, so basically Sony backtracked and now there's going to be a free upgrade for Horizon Forbidden West. But, with a big but, Sony will no longer offer free next-gen upgrades for its first-party games. And, you know, I was thinking, guys, I think I know why they're not going to be offering no free first-party upgrades now after Horizon Forbidden West. You know why? I'll tell you why. I think I know the answer to this. Because they're going to have to pay all the additional staff that's coming to Insomniac games. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But Insomniac's a great studio, and they showed some great stuff during the showcase. But anyway, so what do you guys think about this, man? No longer offering free next gen upgrades. They backtracked on Horizon Forbidden West. But what do you guys think, man? Carl, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, that's the thing with this story is both of those announcements came together and it's like, here's the good news, here's the bad news. Yeah. And I get okay, like they've been doing this already. It's not new for some of the other games. Mm-hmm. But they did give some games had free upgrades. So yeah, I mean, so now, yeah, they specifically mentioned God of War Ragnarok and Gran Turismo 7 being $10 upgrades.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very good of them to go back on this with Horizon, as they should, because the internet had receipts. And what are you going to do at that point? Like, yep. you or Jim Ryan actually said, I think it was him, right? Pretty sure that's who they were quoting. Yeah. Was that the Forbes article who did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he specifically named that game when he said they were giving free upgrades for certain games. So yeah, you have to honor that. You can't. If you don't change your mind on that, everybody's just gonna say, yeah, Sony's just a liar. Which they kind of are on other things already, because if you remember the whole like we believe in generations, you know, like they were going on about that for a while. So yeah, I mean, it's good that they did it, but I don't like the fact that these games are going to have upgrade charges. You know, it obviously it looks stupid now if you think about it, because if you can buy Horizon Forbidden West on PS4 for $60 and then get a free upgrade to PS5. Yeah. But if you buy the PS5 version, it's $70.
Yeah.
Which I assume now, if you buy digital, right? Can you just buy the digital PS4 version and then upgrade for free?
No, you
go ahead,
you have to. Yeah. If you buy the digital PS4, you'll still have to do the upgrade thing. Yeah, I know people tried that with Ghost, this director's cut.
Yeah,
Well,
it says
but that's because
it
there
says
was a
basically
charge on
that you have to, with the digital upgrade also, it's pay the $10 upgrade fee. So.
But there is no $10 upgrade. That's the thing. So that's why I just wonder. I think you can do that, which is silly. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, physical. I can see why people might want a PS5 disc. I don't know, but
Well, I don't know, man. My point on all this is just save your money instead of buying all these games. Save your money and get a PS5 whenever PS5 comes into your local electronics store. And then you won't have to worry about this. Then you can just get it on PS5. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Oh, I want to play the game day one. Yeah, that's great. If you only have a PS4, play it on PS4, and then if you want to pay the $10 extra later, that's fine too. But then why can't you just wait and save up that money that you're gonna use to buy like 20 more games and buy a PS5? That's yeah. So I mean, that's the way around this is just get the next gen system. Get the PS5. If you want to play games on PS5, get the PS5. That's just my thing on this. I mean, do what you want to do, but if you have a problem with like upgrades and paying extra money just for an upgrade on something, then don't upgrade. Just get the new system and get it on that. So
well, yeah, but you're still paying the extra $10. See, like I don't think there's any justification for that extra $10. Now, if the game is only on PS5 and they want to charge $70, I don't like it. But I can't really argue against it. That's their call.
Yeah.
But if you're making the game for PS4 as well,
yeah,
you're telling me that what I think it did the math. I forgot what it was. Like maybe like 16% more cost to make it a PS5 version. Like that's not true. It's just not. So you cannot ever justify the fact that you're charging $10 extra for that version. You're not making whole nother game. There are games that are $10 out there, right? So
yeah. But I mean, most games now are going to be $70 for PS5 anyway, right?
Yes, they all are.
So yeah.
Well, I think maybe not third parties all, but all first party.
Well, yeah. Well, third party eventually, I think too. So unfortunately, but
we don't even know that for Xbox, right? Because
we don't know
that
yet.
It hasn't happened yet. But
it hasn't happened yet. We'll see. But
well, there are third party $70 games, I think.
Yeah,
your Call of Duties and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's unfortunate. But then again, yeah, I mean, at least for Horizon Forbidden West, you're going to get the free upgrade. So, yeah. All right, next story on the list. Carl, you played Alan Wake, right?
Actually, no, I didn't really. I have a free digital copy when I got.
Really? Okay.
What do you call it?
I'm shocked, man. Both of you guys haven't, because Burly told me, Burly hasn't played Alan Wake yet either.
Was it Quantum Break they gave you free? Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. I got a free copy on Xbox because it was backwards compatible.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Alan Wake is going to be remastered, and it's coming out. We got a release date now for it on October 5th. So, and it's coming to PlayStation. Finally, coming to PlayStation. Ooh. So all you PlayStation fans and users out there can play it on your PlayStation. So, what do you guys think of this remaster coming up? Honestly, I'm not going to play it again. I played it on Xbox, so I enjoyed the game. It was an awesome game, but I mean, there's so many other games coming out and, coming around the corner now that I'm not going to be playing this remastered version. But what about you guys? What do you think of this? Burly, how about you first? Are you going to play it on PlayStation?
Oh, I'm going to pick it up. I don't know which console for sure yet, but you're supposed to pick it up for us so you can tell us the exact difference next when it comes out, because Carl and I haven't got the time, because we got to know that this pixel here is changed by... I thought we were getting the whole analysis here. But the thing that shocked me, because I've always wanted to play this game, just never got around to it, is the pricing on this remaster. Here in Canada, it's only $39.99 plus your tax.
That's great. Yeah.
So like in the US, it's like $29, which is like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Carl, I think the original Alan Wake from Xbox 360 that was on Game Pass for a while, wasn't it? I think it might still be.
Possibly. Yeah, I don't actually know. I mean, like I said, I have a digital copy.
It might not be on there now, but
they took it off Game Pass because people.
Okay, but it was on Game Pass though. Yeah. So,
okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So go ahead, Carl.
I kind of want to play it. I really kind of do, but I'm not sure that I will. I mean, it's a really good price. That actually has made me think like, yeah, like I could get it for sure.
It's a great game, man. Yeah, it's great. You should play it. Yeah, it's.
I mean, but I could just play the original. I don't know. Like, is it really that dated that it's going to feel that different?
I don't know. That's the interesting thing. We'll find out on October 5th, but I wouldn't. I don't know if it's going to be that big of a difference, really. I mean,
and that's probably why the price point is where it is, right?
Yeah.
Although, and I made this comment on Twitter, but like, in a joking way of like, can you really look at Nintendo and like take them seriously when they're charging, what was it, $60 for Skyward Sword HD, and this is like $30? Like, come on, like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
like I guarantee you, there's more work put into this remaster than there was in Skyward Sword HD.
Yeah, and we probably know this. Of course, it hasn't been revealed or anything, but the next Control game is probably going to be like a crossover with Alan Wake, because the DLC, the latest DLC that came out for Control, Alan Wake was in that. I mean,
So you guys play Control?
Yes, I played Control.
Okay,
and all the DLC too. So yeah,
and Quantum Break.
Yeah, I played Quantum Break as well. Yes.
All right. So what's the best one of the three?
Alan Wake.
Best Remedy game. Really?
Alan Wake.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes, the story is just amazing. Just you'll see. Play it.
I started Control.
Yeah.
I started Control. Didn't really. I don't know what it was. I wasn't like super into maybe something
Control
story.
I mean, if you're into reading documents, it's probably the game that has the most documents in any game that I've ever played in my life. Because when you go through that, the bureau, I mean, there's just like thousands and thousands of case files that you can go through. And then as you get into the DLC, that's when you get into Alan Wake. And you start coming across his story and everything. And the next game is definitely going to have some kind of cross story, I think, between the protagonist in Control and Alan Wake. So
I loved Quantum Break. I thought that was really
Quantum Break
cool
was
game.
great too. Yeah,
really cool, really good story. I really enjoyed that a lot, and I love the powers in it. I mean, it's held down a little bit by the weird like TV show in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird choice, but
and
I watched all those.
And Littlefinger,
yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, I thought they were good. Actually, I thought they were well done. It's like this is a weird choice. Like I don't think anybody. I really don't think that they should have done that because it's not. It doesn't work. Can't expect someone to sit there and watch like a 15-minute live action like episode of a show in between your chapters of the game.
Yeah.
But that one is. I would love it if they made a sequel to that. And I don't know how that's going to work because I don't know if Microsoft still has ties to it, but they did with Alan Wake, and now that's back in their wheelhouse. So
yeah.
I would hope that Microsoft would do the same there and be like, it's your. I don't think they have full ownership. I don't know how it worked, but they let them just it's okay. We're not going to make another one, right? So just go ahead as long as it's on our system.
They could buy him back too. We'll see.
Buy Remedy,
I don't know if they do that again. Yeah,
I don't think Remedy wants to be bought.
Yeah, after what happened, with the the past people running Xbox, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I don't think they. It seems like they're one of those people who want to stay independent. But
Yeah. Kind of like the same situation with Bungie. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Bungie.
Yeah, you never know. When Microsoft comes a knocking with a lot of zeros,
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
You never know. Take Two, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think they want to sell. So.
Yep. Okay, so next up, this is from the Japan Focus portion or segment of our show, and this game is coming out, and it's my most anticipated game of this year, up until December, of course, when Halo comes out, Halo Infinite comes out. But Lost Judgment DLC has been detailed. So in 2022, the expansion will let you play as Kaito. Kaito is the ex-Yakuza who is working with Yagami in his investigation office in Kamurocho, of course, which is a fictional kabukicho. So I'm going to read this for you. This is from Robert Ramsey over at Push Square. Lost Judgment is getting 3 rounds of DLC post-launch, one of which is a proper expansion. It is a first for Yakuza developer RGG Studio, Ryuga Gotoku in Japanese, which has only dabbled in small add-ons previously. And yes, you're reading this correctly. Set to release in spring 2022, the Kaito Files is described as a 10-hour story-driven expansion where you play as Kaito, the burly ex-Yakuza. If you play Judgment, then you'll already be familiar with Kaito. He's a protagonist, Yagami Takayuki's best friend and business partner. And he's a pretty much a badass in a fight, too. But before the Kaito Files, Lost Judgment is nabbing 2 different DLC bundles. The first is the Detective Essentials Pack, which contains all kinds of stuff. New detective dogs, new girlfriends, a new skateboard, more playable Master System games. So the Sega Master System will be playable in Yagami's office in Lost Judgment. And the second bundle expands on things, offering a new race course, special dance moves, and the ability to use Yagami's boxing techniques outside of the boxing minigame. It also lets you spar with Yagami's friends. So, does this make you want to play Lost Judgment more? Burly, what about you, man? Come on, man. Lost Judgment. You want to play it, right?
Oh, I eventually will play it. I've got to play Judgment first. And I'm slowly got to get there. Like, that's the thing. By the time I get to Lost Judgment, I could buy it on sale with the DLC.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And that's probably the route I'll go, because I know I'm sure going to get from you every week. I finished Lost Judgment. I'm just waiting for the DLC. I'm waiting for the DLC. You guys need to play it, and Carl and I are going to be like, we'll get there one day.
Yeah.
Like, is it on Game Pass yet? Huh?
Yeah.
Carl, man, that's all about you, man. It's all about Game Pass. Once it gets to Game Pass, man.
This is a great place for games that I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy.
Well, so that's what you did. That's what you did with Yakuza 7, man. Yeah,
Game Pass, I did, and it worked out so well. You know?
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if Carl's got that tattooed on him.
I know, right?
Is it on Game Pass yet?
I have, but the thing is, I tried other Yakuza games and I didn't really enjoy it. So like, that's what I love about it. Like, I didn't lose any money on that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for Judgment to come to Game Pass, the first one.
Yeah.
It would make sense at this point, and I want to try it because I want to see what makes it different. If I'll enjoy it. Actually, okay, I have a question though for you, Expat.
Yeah.
Do you think that if this whole problem with the actor isn't settled?
You're talking about Kimura Takuya, yeah. The main character, Yagami, yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Do you think that they're going to be like, oh, well, the next game will just be Kaito?
That's a good question. It could be, yeah. Like Kaito takes over the investigative office, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a possibility, man. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Sega is going to get something done with Kimura Takuya. I just can't see Kimura Takuya passing up on a big chance at a bunch of yen out here in Japan, because I think just being a part of that Johnny's agency is just holding him back. If he sees all that yen that's going to be thrown on the table by Sega, he'll say, "Screw Johnny's, man. We're done." and then we'll do let's get Lost or whatever judgment it's called, number 3. So I think it's probably an 80% chance that Kimura Taki is going to be back for number 3.
Okay.
But but if not, that would be a good idea to just have it all focus on Kaito, because that guy he's an interesting character, man. He is just a light to Yagami, and it's fun to in the first game, just going around with him and doing things. He's a really cool character. So, shall see. But play it, guys. Play Judgment first, and then get to Lost Judgment. But it's good stuff. Yeah.
Hey, TGS, it could be the place where they make this Game Pass announcement that I keep asking.
It's a possibility, man. Yeah. But and we'll be talking about that a little bit more too. So yeah, Burly.
I was gonna say, Carl, I think you put the fear in Expat that this is what's gonna happen for Judgment now.
Why is it a fear?
Because I've already got it pre-ordered on PS5.
PS5.
Oh
the actor, because of Johnny's, won't sign again for the next game. And
Okay, Burly. Hey, here we go. 日本人の皆さん、ちょっと待ってね。Burly, here we go. Kimura, say it. Kimura Takuya. That's right. Yes. That's
Kimura
the actor's
Takura
name.
Won't sign. This is Expat's big fear. All the other stuff in his life is good. This is the one thing.
But I just gave him hope because his story continues with Kaito instead. They can just write him out right now. They should be like, nah, I don't want to deal with any of this contract nonsense. Forget you. We already got it. We're already bridging the gap with this DLC. It's over.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But Kimura Takuya, he's an amazing actor out here in Japan, and he's been around for a long time. I mean, he was with that kind of like a boys band group called SMAP, and they were better actors than they ever were singers. And Kimura Takuya is the most successful of them in with the acting and all. So we'll see.
Going to kill his character off screen, like in between the second and third game.
Well, if it's going to be Kaito only, that's probably what they're going to say. Who knows?
They're going to have to investigate his murder.
Yeah, or or something like that. Yeah. That's probably not going to happen, Carl, but anyway. Okay, so let's get to the topic of the show. So we had that Sony PlayStation PS5 Showcase, and it was a really good show. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about what they showed from beginning to end, and then give our assessment of it and what we felt was the announcement of the show and so forth. So I'm going to go through this. This is from Kotaku. So Alex Walker over at Kotaku, everything announced at the PS5 Showcase. So, of course, at the beginning, there was that one little video where they showed these characters playing chess or some kind of chess game or whatever. And then at the end of that, gameplay captured from a PS5 system or whatever. At the end of that.
Like, why is that? Like, what was the point of putting that in front of it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that a mistake?
I don't know, man. When I was watching, I was like, okay, well, what game is this that they're talking about? What kind of cinematic trailer are they showing for some game? And it was no game at all. It was just,
Well, yeah, pretty quickly on, I'm like, oh yeah, this is one of those live action ad things they do. I'm like, great. Yeah. And I checked out. I'm like, I don't need to pay attention to this anymore.
Yeah. Burly, what'd you think of that part?
Oh, that was just so stupid and a waste of time. I was like, why? Yeah. Like, it's one thing if you would have saw a bunch of people just, grabbing the DualSense and just starting up the PlayStation and the PS5 to be like, ooh, we're going to see some stuff PS5 based, but no, just this chess and all this moving around shit. I'm like, why are you wasting your time? It's like those dumb PS3 ads where they had the laughing baby. It was like, why are you doing this shit? This is just a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 40-minute show, and you take that and you combine like Jim Ryan's little thing in the beginning, it was like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Just go ahead with Jim Ryan speaking, and go to games. That's all you needed.
And that's pretty much what happened. Jim Ryan appeared and the show kicked off proper with the latest title from Asper and LucasArts and a title for the Knights of the Old Republic remake. So Knights of the Old Republic and a timed, what is it? I think, Carl, a timed exclusive. Yeah, everybody was freaking out over that. And
that's the wording. So if everybody is having this conversation, is it really a timed exclusive? And the wording specifically from the PlayStation blog was console exclusive at launch.
At launch, yes.
Which, if you've ever heard that from anywhere else before, it's been on Xbox numerous times. They've said console launch exclusive, whatever. Always means it's a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Is it going to be 6 months or a year?
Oh my God. For that game?
Yeah. Knights of the Old Republic remake. Yeah.
Like 2-3 years?
Wow.
Oh, yeah. No, that is a big game to do, and I don't know how well that is going to do on PS5, because I know from people that really enjoy Knights of the Old Republic 1, because I haven't put too much time into that, you're going to want to play that on a PC. So,
yeah. Oh, God. Okay. So, like, of course, like, I saw that. I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is awesome. I love this. But immediately, being on a PlayStation show, like, I had that feeling. I'm like, oh God, like, are they really going to do like some exclusivity on this? And the feeling you're telling me I'm going to have if Kimura Takui is not going to be in the third Judgment game, right? Yeah, exactly. It's just so like it kind of ruined the whole excitement of it for me. And then they confirmed that it was a timed exclusive, and I'm like, money hiding this crap again. And I've already played KOTOR, so like I guess like it's not like I can't wait for this game.
Yeah.
I just hate how they keep doing this stuff. It bothers me a lot.
Yeah, I remember back when actually, what was it? Xbox got the timed exclusivity for Rise of the Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah,
it was like a 1 year exclusivity, and made a lot of PlayStation people angry as well.
And they should have been. I get it.
Yeah.
It was not a smart move by Microsoft.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for them. Now, that's not how it goes with PlayStation. They get away with everything. I don't think I saw very many people out there, on the Sony side saying like, yeah, I don't think they should have done this.
Yeah.
They don't do that. But
well, it's the same with the Avengers game with the Spider-Man content too. So
yeah. But yeah, so like this KOTOR project, the reason I say it so many years because they are not just simply improving the graphics and throwing it out there, because they're redoing aspects of the gameplay, which they said, and I don't know how you do that, because you can't just like, are they going to just take the original gameplay and like modify it a little? Maybe. I don't think a lot of people in modern, I don't think that gameplay translates well to a modern video game.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have played it, right?
Yeah, I played it.
It's been a long time. But the thing that worries me is the developers that are doing this, because Aspyr has done other remakes and stuff and other games, and they have not come out well. They're usually, if I'm not mistaken, like a lot of things with modern games, you're waiting 6 months to a year to get the game that after it's launched that you've been promised. Yeah. So, like, I know a lot of people were really happy, but once I heard Aspyr and looked up, I was like, oh, yeah, they did this, they did that. I'm not wanting to touch this.
I already knew that this was already revealed a while ago, that Aspyr was working on this.
Yeah.
So, I didn't have a lot of faith in that either. And they even said that what's her name? Jennifer Hale is coming back as the voice for, I think it was Bastila was her character, which to me says that I'm like, wait, so you're telling me they're also redoing all the voice work? If they're saying that she's coming back, that's an implication that like they're not just taking the voice work right from the previous game.
It's everybody's going to have to come back.
Yeah, so like they're gonna have to do. I think this is a huge project, and if they're gonna make it like try to make it more of an action oriented game, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, and I don't know that Asper or Aspire, however you say their name, is up to that challenge. Of making it, because they're kind of almost making it a new game around the story of the original.
Yeah.
And people keep calling that it a turn-based game. You've heard people say that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ew. I'm like, sort of, in a way, yeah, but it's not really. It's more like, because like you do give commands that happen in like a turn-based order. You would show like on the side, like every command, and they're going to play out that way, but it's all active happening. Things are happening unless you do that, and you can pause the game, you can cancel those actions and start new actions. It's a really weird type of combat system that I hope they get this right. I really do. That's the real fear, is that this could actually not be a good remake at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how this, with the timed exclusivity stuff and all, it just woke up all the, the console war, geeks and everybody that wanted to, trash, either Microsoft or Sony, so anyway.
It is a kick in the face. Like Sony seems to want to do that
to
Xbox. They did it with this. They did it with, I would say they did it with Alan Wake, in that it's part of this show.
Yeah.
As an Xbox game, they're going to do it with probably Sunset Overdrive, and I don't know. I'm sure there's other examples of like sort of Xbox exclusive things that they're like, basically saying, haha, it's on our system now.
Yeah, and there's a lot out there in the Xbox communities too, also now, that are saying, well, some of the other, Star Wars games that are being worked on now, they should be like exclusive for, a specific amount of time or whatever.
Right.
But,
and I don't agree with that. I don't think Microsoft should come back and say like, oh yeah, we're going to buy this. Then that's not their MO. Like we're going to pay for this timed exclusive. Like they don't want to do that because it didn't work before. But also I don't think they care to do that because they want to own IP.
Yeah.
And that's more powerful.
And the same with Indy Jones too, the Indy Jones game. It's like, they should just come out. I think it was you, Carl, that was actually saying this, they should come out and just say, hey, it's exclusive,
Yeah. I think that's the one move they should make. They should be like, well, look, okay, you did it with this, you did it with another game we're going to talk about later, or not a game, but another popular character. Mm-hmm. Just come out and say it. Unless they are contractually obligated to put it on other platforms, I at this point think there's no chance they're putting it on PlayStation.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So the next game that was at the showcase was a third-person action RPG that began with a character being kicked out into space. Looks like kind of Bayonetta and Nier Automata, kind of in terms of the fluidity in the game. It's called Project Eve. What did you guys think of this one? Project Eve. It looked from a Korean developer. It looked like, I think, because
it is, yeah.
Yeah, the voice acting was in Korean as well. But what did you guys think of this one, Burly? What did you think of Project Eve, man?
It looked good. I'll keep my eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I do like these action kind of games, but it's not something like I'm gonna go day one. Need to have this day one.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye on it. It has me interested.
Well, the thing I really liked about this, and this goes to the whole showcase thing. I mean, this was one of the only games that we saw a ton of gameplay of. Yeah. And everything else was just a little cinematic here, cinematic there, a little bit of gameplay. And of course, God of War, Ragnarok, which we'll be talking about later, there was more
Gran
gameplay
Turismo.
in that. Yeah, and Gran Turismo. But other than that, I mean, it was just,
this game, like this trailer went on way too long.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, looks like Bayonetta, I guess, sort of type of game.
Yeah,
probably more RPG elements. I'm like, I don't know. Like, there was a point during this thing I was like, all right, next. I wanted to click next.
yeah.
Like it looks fine. If you like this game, I mean, it was very pretty. I'll give it that. Like visually, it's stunning.
Yeah,
I think if you look at this whole showcase,
Mhm.
definitely that's what they were going for. Like they wanted to make sure everything they were showing looked incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Sony. That's what they're really good at. So next up, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And then we got a release date for it, March 25th, 2022. Just more Borderlands. Yeah. So more in-game fantasy environments that were shown. So yeah. I don't know.
They're really wanting to extend Borderlands.
Yeah, definitely. Because Borderlands 4 is probably way off. So, yeah, I don't know. I played Borderlands 3, so
I'm not into Borderlands. So yeah, this is another one where I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
we knew this game existed, and I guess if you're interested, this was a good look at it. But
next up was Forspoken and its high fantasy world. Although we got to look at how the game gets started. You start as a normal character who looks like they're hoping to get out of what could be Manhattan with their cat, and they end up in a planet casting magic, freezing things in place, and traversing fairly fast with dashes and other abilities. So, yeah, it was interesting. The character being, African American female, which you don't see too much in a lot of AAA games. So I thought that was really cool. And I don't know, man. And it's also being, I think, the contributors, Amy Hennig and Gary Whitta, of course, the writer of Rogue One. So
Book of Eli.
Yeah, and the Book of Eli. Yeah. So I don't know. It looked pretty cool. I mean, the environments looked pretty cool as well. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it looks great. This is one of those games where when they first announced this on the Sony thing, I guess that was one of the other shows. And then again, it was this is Square Enix timed exclusive. I'm like, great. And this is the one when they said it's a 2-year timed exclusive. And I was like, oh god. And I honestly think now that I hear the two writing contributors, that's probably why they did that. Sony is probably like, yeah, like these names are going to resonate, and the visuals of this game are going to resonate. Like, let's throw down some cash and own this for keep this off Xbox basically for 2 years, because I assume it'll be on PC before that.
Yeah, well, it's coming in 2022, so yeah, we'll see. But
yeah.
Next, Burly, what do you think Forspoken?
Yeah, Burly. Yeah.
This I'm very, very interested, and I can't wait to see more of it, and probably something I could see myself picking up and streaming.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I wanted to say also is that like that story framing is not one that I particularly enjoy. So like, I have faith in its writing talent. I just don't really love the ideas of like, this regular person from regular worlds now in fantasy worlds. Like it's been done a lot, and I think most of the times I don't like it. I'm trying to think of an example that I really like, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just give the kitty magical powers. Then be able to be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Like as a kid, I was like, "This is a disaster." Like I even then I recognized. I'm like, you're telling me this is a TV show about kids who play D&D who end up in a D&D world. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, just be in the D&D world, man. Just don't. I hate that. Just don't do it.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Extraction drops in January 2022. And, of course, another cinematic trailer for that. We didn't see much gameplay of that at all. But
you know what it looks like.
Yeah, it's more Rainbow Six. I mean,
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then after that, we got the Alan Wake remaster with credit for Epic Games Publishing and a look at its remastered textures. Be launching on October 5th, so as we stated earlier. Then after that,
did you see there was someone did a comparison shot of the cutscenes, right? Because this is one of the big things that they had to redo the cutscenes, kind of, and they showed like a side by side of the two screens. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, like big difference, good job. Like that's what I want to see in other games too that get remade, where they just take the cutscene and have to make it look modern. I mean, that's great because a lot of the cutscenes are a big problem for older games when you try to play them. They aged really poorly.
Yeah. Next up, oh goodness, GTA 5 launching on PlayStation 5 in March 2022. Does anybody care?
It's the biggest announcement of the show. That delay is huge. No.
You know who cares? Rockstar. Because even though none of us really care, everyone says they don't care on the internet, people will still buy it and give them a crap ton of money on GTA Online. Because, like, I had one guy in one Discord was like, they don't need to do this. Why are they putting effort behind this? I was like, because people keep spending money on this. They ain't even considering making GTA 6. GTA Online makes a crap ton, and the game still sells a lot of copies every so often.
Believe me, they're making GTA 6 though, Burly. You know that. I mean, it's probably being extended. You know, it's not coming out, you know, as soon as we think it is. But
they'll make it, but they're not putting as much development behind it right now.
It does make me wonder, will they end GTA Online and GTA 6 have its own version of online?
Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah,
like to a point like that could piss off a lot of people, but it could also make them a ton of money. So I do wonder how that would play out.
Did the original Red Dead Redemption, have an online element to it? I don't think it did, right?
I don't know.
I think just the latter one did. Yeah.
2 did, obviously, but
the first game did have an online because I only know this because I played very little of this, but I played it at a buddy's house, and he
the zombie DLC, right?
It was the zombies DLC, but it was also in the main game because you could turn on like online and people, as you're roaming around, could interact and like shoot you. You could hunt each other.
Okay.
But you could turn off the online.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not getting this. So I played GTA 5 like in 2013, 2014. So, yeah.
I've never even played it. Well, okay. My brother had it. I played it a little bit one day because he wanted me to check it out.
Yeah. I'm just going to wait for the GTA 6, whenever that is, whether it's 3, 4, 5 years from now, and we go back to Vice City. That's all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Burly, you love that, right? Yeah. Going back to Vice City, man.
No, I had a coworker because this was being streaming while we were at work on Thursday, and he's like, because I told him that there's the rumors of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas remasters. So he's got the Sony event up because there was also rumors saying that was going to come to that thing. So when he's like, "Ooh, come on," and then he's like, GTA 5. I'm like, he's like, I thought you said this was going to happen. These remasters. I said, people are saying that. I was like, but people say a bunch of shit all the time.
Yeah. And Carl, what do you think of? They were talking about maybe Microsoft buying out.
Take-Two.
Yeah, Take-Two.
I mean, I think there's serious possibility of that. I mean, because if anyone is gonna do it, it would be Microsoft, right? Like, now there's a lot of options out there to have that cash to throw around that would even want to do something like that.
Yeah,
because if you're not in on the gaming industry, it's probably not a good idea to spend that much money on something like that.
Yeah.
And would that be a good choice for Microsoft? I mean, I think if you're talking about financially, I mean, GTA Online is all you need. It'll cover your costs there.
Would it be more than the Bethesda ZeniMax deal, you think?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
probably. But again, it's like the Minecraft thing. Like you bought one game for, I forget how much it was. Was it 4 something billion or 2 something
billions?
Yeah,
I think it was like 14 billion for Minecraft.
No, it wasn't that much, right? I don't know. Well,
I can't remember.
Yeah,
but even
they paid
so,
one shit ton of money.
Yeah, and when that deal happened, people are like, "That's a crazy amount of money." I'm like, "Yeah, but you don't understand. Like that one game will make back that money, and it already has."
Yeah, well, if it happens, we'll talk about it. But that's just speculation. We're going to stay away from all that stuff. So let's go ahead and move on to Ghostwire Tokyo. What's that,
Sorry.
Carl?
2.5 billion for Minecraft.
Yeah. Okay. Ghostwire Tokyo was the next cab off the rank, unveiling what looked like the main antagonist, more enemies, and a little more of the moment-to-moment gameplay. Yeah. So what'd you guys think of the Ghostwire Tokyo part? I mean, that game is like, it's been delayed a lot. So, yeah. I don't know. Burly, what'd you think of that? Ghostwire Tokyo, man.
Yeah, it looks interesting, but like you said, this has been delayed a lot. This is gonna be a trend for the next while. I've said we're gonna see games are just gonna get delayed, and they have the perfect excuse / reasoning with the pandemic because you got to change your whole workflow. So.
Yeah. Carl, what'd you think of this one with Ghostwire?
I mean, it's interesting looking.
Mm-hmm.
Visually, I like what I'm seeing. It's just when I see the gameplay, then I'm like, it's first person, and it's not that a first person game can't be good. Obviously, people love those games. For me, I'm like, I don't really. It doesn't look fun. What I'm seeing as far as the gameplay.
Yeah. And then after that was gameplay from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, showcasing what looked like some space combat, Cosmo the Russian dog, and a church of space priests that look like they'll be your main opponents. What do you think? Burly, I'll let you start with this one because what'd you think of this one, man? Is this making you more excited for Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah.
No.
No.
Can't play as Cosmo 0 out of 10. I get it. Like the writing seems a little bit better here. I hope they do have a good balance for like Star-Lord, the humor and like seriousness, because that was something the films that James Gunn did got well. I just still like I get it partially of why you only pick one character to play, but it's like I would rather want to play as most of the other characters on the team than Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree in that aspect. Like, I like super powered characters, and he's just like the guy with the guns,
Yeah.
But like, I'm looking past that because that's obviously like I said before, like that decision makes sense from a design point. So hopefully it's good. I think it was there like this trailer, this look at the game was probably like what they should have shown the first time, because I think it would have got a lot better like feedback and attention. Because last time they just made you watch someone playing the game way too long, and like
spend half their showcase on that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I mean, I don't watch a lot of other people playing video games.
Yeah,
I just want to play them. So like I don't need to see it that showed in that way. Show me the highlights of why this is a cool game, and that's it. Move on. So I mean, and that might work for this. And maybe if there are some people maybe who see this and don't see the other trailer. So I mean, I still have hopes that this is a good game. And if it reviews really well, I'm definitely gonna want to play it.
Yeah. Okay, next up was Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. Then played a PS5 trailer for its Bloody Battle Royale, so more cinematic stuff, basically. Yeah. And then it was followed by, of course, the soon-to-be coming out, and we're going to be talking about this in the new game releases, Deathloop. Of course, Burly, you're psyched for that one, yeah? So.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait. They didn't really need to show anymore, but like I said in the last weeks, they're just going to show just to remind you, hey, this is out in a couple days. Pick this up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, that blood, what is it? The Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. It kind of reminded me of the game Vampire in a sense, but I don't know, man.
I mean, it's not a game for me, but I think it looks cool in that. Like, I like the idea of that type of game, like multiplayer game, but with like crazy vampire powers. Yeah. I just don't know if it works. It's weird because like if you think about multiplayer online games, the large majority of the successful ones are shooters. Yeah. If you're not shooting things, there's a chance that your game might not be that successful online.
And then it was followed up by a more traditional video game inspired by the islands of New Caledonia called Tichia. Tichia, yeah, it looked pretty cool. I like the art style of that game. It looks really, really pretty. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty looking indie. I would definitely give it a try if it was on Game Pass. But yeah.
The Game Pass counter, Burly, with Carl, man. Yeah.
Oh, we don't have enough counters for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason I play most indies like in my life at this point, because like if I think back to the indies that I've actually bought, you know, it's Darkest Dungeon. It's I think Astroneer I bought. What's it called? Inside.
Inside, yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe Subnautica.
Subnautica. Okay.
Yeah. That's probably the extent of it.
Yeah. Okay, and then next up was the Uncharted and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. At least a PS5 and PC remaster of those. So those will be launching in early 2022. I'm not going to pick those up. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like how much better can these games get? I mean, you know, in how they look. It's just, I don't know, man. You know, how good of a remastered could it actually be? You know, I mean, it's a gem as it is anyway. So, I mean, both of them. So,
it's very much like the rumor of the Last of Us 1 remake that they were think might happen. I'm like, why? Don't waste your time. The game looks great and it still plays great. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Burly, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they were going to do an Uncharted thing, but the PC porting is interesting to me. I'm surprised if you're going to go to PC. Are we going to get ports of 1, 2, and 3 then? Because it'd be kind of weird to give you 4, but you don't have the backing stories of 1, 2, and 3 to get Nathan Drake's kind of past and some of the other characters, so stuff like that. And I never played Lost Legacy, but this is not the way I'm gonna. When I eventually get to Lost Legacy, I'm not going to buy this for the PS5.
Yeah.
I mean, this exists probably really just because of the PC thing, right? That's why they're improving it. So yeah, I mean, but that's cool. I think it's good that they're putting this on PC.
Yeah. Okay, then next up, Herman Holst. Okay, so you know, Insomniac and Marvel's latest project was discussed, and this was, you know, where we got to the nitty gritty of the show, basically the big stuff. You know, it's when the big games started showing up in the show, basically. The PlayStation Studios, and of course we get the first look at Marvel Wolverine was revealed. So just like a little bit of a cut scene, or I don't know, it's not a cut scene, just some made up cinematic trailer of a guy that's supposedly, I don't know, Carl, what do you think? I got the impression this might be a game where he's going to be more like Logan than anything else.
I mean, from the trailer, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I would hope that he suits up as Wolverine at some point in the game. I mean, maybe I do think it's a possibility that it's entirely not suited up as Wolverine game, but that costume will be in the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like story wise, he might not be suiting up, but there's no way they're not putting it in there.
Right. I mean, it was just that cinematic trailer, but we don't know what this game is going to look like yet or anything. I mean, I just
look like
my
Spider-Man.
opinion.
Come on,
this game is way out. I mean, if Spider-Man, we're going to be talking about this in a minute, but if Spider-Man 2 is coming out in 2023, man, this game is probably going to be 2024, 2025, probably. I don't know, man.
Yep. Gotta be.
Yeah. So, Burly, what'd you think? What you saw?
I did not see this coming. I'll admit it. I thought we're just going to be there for the next while. Insomniac is just going to be Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man. I didn't expect them to take on another Marvel property and to get the good old Canadian hero Wolverine. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
This I'm interested in, like the suits. We better get the famous ones and all that. But I'm curious to see how they'll do this kind of game, because I don't know how much do we need to make this a giant open world, or are we going to go like a level to level kind of game?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what this game is going to be like yet.
I mean, if you look at what Insomniac does, you got to think that there's going to be at least a wide linear type of thing, because like they don't really do things that aren't really open at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw the Insomniac thing, I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And very quickly I was like, this is something else. I'm like, oh boy, what are they doing here? What are they doing?
You see that, and you see that patch on the table too. So yeah, right next to him.
I'm hyped for this. I like, even though like Wolverine, and it's funny, like Wolverine and Spider-Man are like definitely not my favorite Marvel characters. Even like they're insanely popular, and that's kind of why like I generally don't like the characters that everyone else loves.
Yeah.
Or at least when I was younger. So those characters to me were like, no, like that's, like my brother likes that character. Like I have to like a different character.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, they're not my guys, but as far as video games go, like, yeah, I mean, I'm excited that they'll do something really great with it for sure.
It'd be interesting to see if Sony pays Hugh Jackman to voice the Wolverine in the game. But probably not going to happen. But
that'd be a waste.
Yeah.
Please make this game M.
Can they get a Canadian actor to do it?
Yes, that too. But I just want M for mature, so like we get this like because let's be honest, if you're going to be hacking people to pieces with claws. This shouldn't be a teen-rated game. This should be M. Make this just a bloody fucking mess.
That's a tough call, right? I kind of wonder, because on one side, like, there's no reason Sony wouldn't do that. The Last of Us, God of War, like those are violent games.
Yeah.
But would Marvel let them do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know.
I think they should do it.
They should, but it'll probably be on the lines of like Spider-Man, though. Probably.
I mean, Spider-Man makes, obviously you don't need to do any violence in Spider-Man, but like, Burly's point is exactly right. Like when you have people getting sliced up with these blades, like it's stupid if they're not getting, if there's not violence to it. And this is the criticism I had for the Shang-Chi movie.
Yeah,
was that there was a point in that movie where like there's a lot of people fighting with like blades and things, and like people should be dying left and right here.
What engine are they going to be using for this? Do you know? Do you guys know? I don't know.
I mean, they didn't. There's no information about this game.
I mean,
speculation wise, I mean, I'm assuming it's the same thing Spider-Man runs on.
Right. So
in my head, this is
Blood and Guts engine.
Yeah, Blood and Guts engine.
Yeah.
I mean, in
animated
my head,
Blood and Guts engine, probably.
Yeah. I just see this as it's going to be Spider-Man. It's going to be exactly like Spider-Man, except different combat abilities and different movement. Like he's not going to obviously can't swing, so he could probably climb walls with his claws and things like that.
Yeah. Who knows? Like I said, it's probably way off. So just to announce it to get everybody excited. That I think that's what Sony was aiming at for now, and Insomniac.
Insomniac seems like Marvel's head developer for games. But like, which other characters could we see from them in the future? Because I thought it was just going to be they're going to purely do Spider-Man. Wolverines now we're doing, so I'm guessing they've got free reign pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, it definitely seems that like Marvel is very happy with what they did with Spider-Man. So if they say we have this other idea, like sure, pay us money and we'll license the character to you. They're not against it.
Yeah, because I mean, on the Xbox side, you've got like Rocksteady, and you've got maybe the Batman games, and they might push those more now and probably pay a lot of money for that. So I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
mean, everyone's like, "Oh, Microsoft needs to get a Marvel character now." Yeah, I mean, cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that's their MO. Like, they don't want to license out someone else's IP.
Yeah.
And it's not that it wouldn't be successful. Like, it clearly works for Sony. Like, it would work for Microsoft. It would, because you're not. It's not like you're buying someone else's game, right? You're making your own original game with their IP. So like, it wouldn't go over like the Tomb Raider thing.
Yeah,
but I just don't. I don't think it's necessary. I would like it, but I don't think you have to, do this reactive thing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So next up, they showed Gran Turismo 7. So our first proper look at the latest generation of Sony's racing franchise. So yeah, showed a lot of the cars and showed a lot of the the racing on tracks and everything. Were you guys impressed? I mean, how much different is this than Forza? I mean, I don't know. I'm not the biggest racing game guy, but I don't know if you guys are more into the racing games than I am. But
Burly's a gearhead.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Burly.
Oh yeah, I'm all about those this Hemi engines and all that.
Those Canadian muscle cars, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm more into the arcadey kart racer variety, but Gran Turismo is more structured racer where you're picking your track and just going to it and racing. That's what it is. Like this looks for what it is. It looks fine. But I'm not going to spend the $90 or even $100 because I could see this being into this is 89 Canadian thing for like, whereas Forza Horizon, I can just play on Game Pass, get as much or as little as I want through
Carl,
Game
he
Pass.
said it for you, man. He said it for you. Game Pass.
Well, I knew Carl was going to say it, so
ding ding ding. No.
Figured I'd beat him to the punch. But it's like Forza, you can just, if you don't want to race, you can just dick around and drive around in the vista of the area you are. So, which is kind of more appealing to me. That's what I'm gonna like for what little I don't expect to play Forza for more than 4 hours. I expect to just play it, download it, drive around for a couple hours, and just have my fun that way and do a couple races.
Yeah. This trailer, I mean, I think it looked good. Like, it was pretty. The cars look great. But there's something about it that I think is probably it's because the difference between Forza Horizon being that open world, you're in these wild different environments versus a track racer. And I just think that a track racer is not going to look as flashy in a trailer. I'm sure this game will be great for if you like that type of game. I did enjoy like Gran Turismo 2 back in the day. Like I got super into that game.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I have this fond memory of like, buying like the shitty, crappy, cars that like, hey, I could own that car, and like souping that up and like racing on tracks with that. And because to me, it wasn't about like the crazy supercars that look like freaking jets and future nonsense. Like I like the regular cars. Yeah. And I remember doing this, like they had these endurance laps or tracks or races, and you get a good amount of money on it. What you had to do was like 40 laps of like the same track.
Yeah.
I was like, it was kind of mind numbing, but it was, I don't know, it was also kind of like peaceful and easy. Cause once you got like, you could dominate the computer at that point, and you've done like, 20 laps, and you're like lapping these guys. You're way, way, way ahead of them. So like at that point you can't even screw up. Yeah. I mean, it's a weird game. Like it's more about, I like the aspect, like to me, that's sort of like an RPG element of like, doing different races to get different things, to get this money, to buy this car, to like, they had like your license things that you had to earn. And, there's things like that. I mean, those are cool.
All right. So let's get to the big stuff for this show. Insomniac then revealed Spider-Man 2. but it won't be out till 2023. It'll feature Venom as a key character, with both Peter Parker and Miles Morales featured in their respective Spidey outfits. And it was cool to see the Stark suit with the spiked legs on the back of Peter Parker's suit in that trailer there.
The Iron Spider.
The Iron Spider, yeah.
Iron Spider legs with the advanced suit from the PS4 game.
Yeah. So yeah, but the voice, Carl, was that Craven at the beginning when you hear the
I don't
voice?
really know. As people are saying, I actually wasn't like. I need to go back and listen to it again.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that was Craven. So maybe
it is Craven.
Yeah. So a lot of people are thinking the Venom's going to be like a side character type of villain in the game, whereas Craven is going to be the main protagonist, the main villain, I should say, in the game. I don't know. We're not sure, but but then again, it was a cool
Craven fan here. Not my
All
guy.
right.
Oh, really?
No.
Kind of like how in the first Spider-Man game, I think it was what was it, Burly? The Mr. Negative? I think it was. Who was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. Negative. Yeah. So like a lot of people are saying, and I don't know if this is true or not, but maybe Venom is going to be a similar type of thing to how Mr. Negative was in the first game, whereas Craven could possibly be the main villain, throughout the game. I don't know, but I don't know. What you guys think? I'm excited. I'm stoked. Yeah, it's a little ways off, and this is a PS5. Right, and this is not coming to PS4. I'm sure, right?
Yeah, it's PS5.
PS5 only. Yeah. So
they didn't make that clear at the show, but I think it was later said.
Right.
So,
Yeah, they stated it after the trailer had gone through. They said before they went into the next trailer, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there wasn't something like exclusively on PlayStation 5. Like it wasn't as overt,
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's the case.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that they're putting Miles Morales together with Peter Parker in this game too. So this is going to be really cool, I think. So I'm excited for it. But yeah, it's a ways off still. So don't be surprised if it gets pushed back. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's funny. Like this is exactly what I said that they would do. Like they were going to tease Spider-Man 2, and Venom was probably going to be the villain that we were going to see.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really surprised by this at all. But it's great that to get the confirmation because doing Venom in a video game is always cool.
Yeah. So, but it's kind of weird because in the movies, Venom has become kind of like this. He's not really a hero, so to speak, but then he's not bad either. Kind of,
he's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens in the comics too.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how they're gonna spin Venom in Spider-Man 2, so in the game. So.
Yeah. And people keep saying that they're like, oh, they should do a Venom game after this. I'm like, maybe they will. I wouldn't do Eddie Brock. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
No, I'll let you go because I will go off for a few minutes on just a bunch of stuff on this.
Oh yeah, no, I would say like if you're gonna do the hero aspect, like let Eddie Brock be the villain and do the Flash Thompson like hero version. Although I don't know, is Flash in that universe? Maybe Burly, you would. I'm not as familiar with the Spider-Man universe in PlayStation version.
I don't think Flash is in this. I cannot remember. If Flash is in there, it's like kind of like an Easter egg background element. It's not very prominent.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm surprised too that they didn't show anything about Green Goblin or anything like that because what was it in? Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but there was some elements of it, that kind of made me wonder in Spider-Man 2 if Green Goblin would be one of the main villains, but I don't know.
Wait, they're not going to give away everything. Come on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's a possibility. Yeah. So, yeah. Just like in the first Spider-Man game, there are a ton of villains. So, Go ahead, Burly. You said you had some stuff to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, this I really enjoyed. I actually really do like Craven. So this would be interesting, and you could do some interesting, unique missions with him, trying to hunt you, setting different traps and environments for you to fight you in. And but if you go back and listen to some of his voices, what he is saying, it kind of is making me think, for any of the comic fans that have read, it's kind of making me think they're going to do a kind of loose adaptation of Craven's Last Hunt. Which was I enjoyed the storyline. I think it was in the 80s, the storyline. But one of the things that was in that story was Spider-Man did have the black suit at the time. So, and if we're getting Craven, I think it's a good possibility. I can't remember if he's a stepbrother or his cousin. We could be getting the Chameleon. So we got that. I think Craven will be the big bad for most of this game. And I think, as they obviously showed, we're getting Venom. I think we'll get some black suit Spidey. And they've been kind of hinting on other sites and stuff that in this game, for most of it, you can switch freely between Peter and Miles, which would be great.
I'm wondering if the maps are going to expand too. Instead of just Manhattan, if you're going to be able to go to Queens and to Brooklyn and the other parts of New York City. I don't know.
I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Let's expand this.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see who will get more what more villains will come. What other villains we'll get for just side missions and story missions. I don't think we're going to get Goblin in this game. Or I think we're just going to get the Alutu Goblin, because I think it's going to be, I think a certain character will die, and it forces Norman to go Goblin.
Yeah. Well, so his, what was it in the first game? His son was not around, or was he not around? I forgot which one.
Harry was in a tank that no one knew but Norman. And I think MJ finds out because the one stealth mission. And then between the ending of that and Miles Morales, Harry is in the tank. Norman's trying to find a cure because his wife died of the same disease. He's actually trying to save his son. This is a universe where Norman actually cares about his son. But
it's been a long time.
What was he saying? Like, get him out or something like that.
Yeah. And I think it was that was the ending of Miles Morales. And also with that is you saw the symbiote in there. So they were hinting at Venom. But also the scientist that was there that was saying we shouldn't let him out. And he's like, Norman's like, don't worry about the risk, was Kurt Connors. For anyone that knows, that is the Lizard.
Oh, really?
So we could be getting either Mentor Kurt Connors or possibly the Lizard.
See.
So,
they could do something similar, like in the first game where they had Doc Ock being sort of the mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, God of War Ragnarok and brought Boy back into the fray, and Boy looks a little bit bigger now. He's probably like a teenage boy. Yeah, a little bit older with all the tattoos on him and everything now. So he wants to take on Loki, and Boy suggests getting the help of Odin instead. There's no release date for God of War Ragnarok yet, but everything from the trailer really looked special. Herman Holston said in the post-showcase interview that Ragnarok would be the finale in the Norse saga, as Sony Santa Monica put it. So, I know, man. And it was all on Twitter and everything too. You saw the renderings and what like Thor is going to look like and all, and a lot of people were talking about that. You know, it's not the MCU Thor that you might have thought it could possibly be. It's like, a lot of people are saying this is what Thor should really look like. Yeah.
It's Avengers Endgame Thor.
Yeah, exactly.
Thor.
yeah. But got a lot of gameplay. We saw a lot of some of the similar style combat that was in the first God of War. And a lot of the side characters are coming back. The headless guy there, he's with the Scottish accent.
Oh yeah,
I love that part. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Is this next year? Is this coming next year? If Spider-Man's coming in 2023, I think this is going to be coming next year, like late next year. I mean, I would say this is probably the November game for next year.
They didn't put a date on it.
No, they didn't put a date on it, but I'm just thinking,
not even a year.
Yeah, because they showed a lot of gameplay. They did show a lot of gameplay. So
yeah. I think it'll be next year, but with the idea that is potential to be delayed out of next year, and that's why they didn't put a date on a year on it, because they got burned on Forbidden West, and they don't want to do that again.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Kratos, being Kratos, he's got the axe again, and of course he's got the wrist blades and all.
Blades of Chaos.
Yep. So,
it looks pretty damn good. Yeah,
it looks good.
I love God of War was an incredible game.
Yep.
Just game of the year that year for sure.
Yep.
And I'm definitely excited. The thing that was this one weird was like the Loki thing. So
yeah,
I thought so. At the end of the game, didn't they say that like what's his name?
Atreus
is Loki somehow. Is that what they said?
Yeah. His mother wanted to name him Loki. And Kratos had named him Atreus, named after a fellow Spartan warrior.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand this. Like, is Loki not a part of this mythology for some reason? Like, what? How is that? That was always the thing. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much, but it is their own version of it after all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like seeing they go to get the Norse God of War, which I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
do that. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. So.
This I think will be the big holiday 2022 game. Like Carl said, they don't want to put a release date just because you never know what'll happen. They got burned on Horizon, so but this looks good. And you can mush some dogs. As a lot of Americans seem to think, that's what we use in Canada as our preferred method of traveling. Because I've still gotten that on Twitch, and I'm like,
really?
Oh my god, this is the year 2021.
That's hilarious.
I think I literally asked one person, I'm like, are you a hillbilly drinking like 3X whiskey? Like,
yeah, right?
No, I'm surprised they said this is the end of the Norse. Norse saga. I thought this was going to be a trilogy. Yeah, and like they were kind of hinting like that this game might not be as big as the last one, to just get it out kind of quicker. So I was kind of thinking, okay, this will be a middle game to take where the first game and then set up for that third game.
Yeah,
this will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, but it looked like when you played the first game, there was content that was cut, and possibly planned for DLC, and then seemingly they probably decided we're just going to put it in the sequel. Because even in this announcement, they've said that you can access all the realms. Which, if you remember, you had the thing where you could access the realms, and there were ones you just couldn't go to.
Yeah, I think you only went to like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I feel like this is sort of implying that like you're going to get to go to the same locations in the first game as well, and things might be different, of course, as it's supposed to be time passed. But I don't think they're going to have redesigned completely those locations. Like you'll be retreading some of the first game in this.
Yeah,
and that'll be how they save some development time, and they can probably make it into a bigger game because of that.
Yeah,
I think I like runtime wise. I think you'll get at least a good 30 hours out of it. Well, maybe not. Maybe 20, 25, 20 if you're quick.
Yeah, well, it depends on how you play it. So
Yeah, right.
Hey, I'm not a length guy. If you give me a good 15 to 20 hours of great story where every time I'm playing and when I'm putting down and I'm like, should I just continue because I really want to see what's next?
Mhm.
That's all. Like that's great.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. How many times do we think Freya's going to come and try and kill you because you see that one thing where Kratos has blocked her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I have to say, they really need to improve the boss fights.
Yeah.
Because I was very disappointed in that was the one issue I had with the previous game was that outside of that dragon boss fight, they were all pretty standard type boss. They weren't interesting. You know, main. Go ahead.
The brother fight where you fought the two sons of Thor. That one was a cool one because you had to constantly go between the shield and stuff, and you and Atreus are working together. I like that one.
I found it very forgettable though, because it really just boiled down to like, all right, I just got to beat down 2 enemies. Like, okay,
yeah,
like the bosses in God of War were always this epic thing, right? It was always some sort of weird, some special thing going on that you had to do. It wasn't just like I'm just playing the regular gameplay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was elements of it, but
True.
you had to do new things, and that's kind of like. Psychonauts 2, right? That's what the bosses are like. Like you're not just fighting normal enemies. You're doing something different.
Yeah.
And the final boss, and I guess I have the same criticism for Psychonauts 2 as I do for God of War, is that the final boss isn't all that interesting as a thing, as like a gameplay thing. So yeah, do better on the bosses. Give me that epicness.
Okay, one thing I want to get to, just our general assessment of the show, but one thing that really surprised me, and it makes me a little bit worried now, is Deathloop comes out on Monday or next week,
Tuesday,
and they showed, Tuesday, and they showed some, footage of that. We got nothing from Kena, Bridge of Spirits.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am worried that they're just gonna forget about this game, and they didn't want to show anything, and then it's like we're just gonna release it and then just let it fly. I was really surprised they didn't show anything about Kena, because Kena is coming out soon too. Comes out on the 21st, I think it is.
Yeah, I think
and
you're right on that.
You would have thought that they would have put something. I mean, throw out the GTA stuff and put Kena in there.
Yeah, but that's big money being paid.
I know. I'm just kidding, Carl. You know what I mean? It's like throw something out and put Kena in there, because Kena is a game that's coming soon. And it's a PS5 game. So
That's
with Kena, I don't think I'm not going to say you should be concerned, but I will say that maybe you should temper your expectations, because this game is made by a studio of like 15 people.
Yeah.
And they've never released a game before. Yeah. So just keep that in mind when you think about how amazing this game should be to you.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it makes me wonder, it's like, how much are they really going to, how much support are they really going to put into this game if they wouldn't even show it at the showcase, So we shall see. But that was a surprise for me. I was like, aren't you going to show some Kena? It's out in a week and a half. But
buy Deathloop and be happy.
Yeah, right. Really. Yeah. Something you can wait and play on Game Pass in 1 year.
I don't need to. It's a shooter, right? Like I don't know. I mean, it's more than a shooter. It's an immersive sim, as they like to call it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Dishonored games, I mean, hey, that's for you, definitely. So
I love Dishonored 1, and Expat told me for the podcast I have to buy it day one and play the. That's the only reason people Expat make me.
You're the Deathloop guy. That's fine. It's okay. Someone's got to do it.
Yep.
Burly, you're the Deathloop guy. I'm the Lost Judgment guy. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm the Game Pass guy. I can get away with not buying extra stuff.
Yeah. For now, I'm the Lost Judgment guy. We'll see how long that lasts. But anyway, well, speaking of Deathloop, let's move on. Actually, before we do that, what was your announcement of the show, real quick? For me, it was God of War. I mean, just seeing the gameplay and seeing what is going to take place and go down in the second game, I'm really excited for that. So what about for you too? What was the announcement of the show?
Well, okay, since Burly hesitated, I will go. Look, there were, to me, the three biggest announcements of the show were, Knights of the Old Republic remake, Wolverine, and Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Obviously, God of War Ragnarok, incredible. Like, looks great. We knew what it would be, right?
Yeah.
And then, for the same aspect, you can say Spider-Man 2. We knew what that was going to be. It's nice to see. And KOTOR remake, like we kind of know what that is, and we kind of already knew that was happening. So yeah, that makes Wolverine, to me, the biggest announcement for me, because that's an announcement of like a thing I had no idea what was coming, and it's great to see another big Marvel character getting a story driven, serious AAA game.
Okay. Burly, how about you?
See, I've been mulling over this for like a day. I gotta go Spider-Man. I gotta go Spider-Man 2.
Okay. Just
because, like, for every time we get information on that game, even though I want to stay away, I'm gonna be watching and be like, "Oh, is this from this from that?" I cannot wait for this game. 2023 can't come fast enough.
All right. Okay. All right.
So that's Hobgoblin. No.
Yeah.
Get him to be voiced by Mark Hamill again, and yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our new game releases for the week of September 13th through the 19th. So, Burly, I'm going to let you start this one because this is the game that you've been most anticipating for a long time. So take it away, my friend. What's coming out on the 14th? Eh?
On September 14th, we got Deathloop. It's coming to PC and PS5 and next year your Xbox Series consoles. Deathloop transports player into the lawless island of Black Reef in an eternal struggle between two extraordinary assassins. Explore stunning environments and meticulous design levels in immersive gameplay and experience that lets you approach every situation any way you like. Hunt down targets all over the island in an effort to put an end to the cycle once for all. And remember, if you first don't succeed, die again.
That's cool, yeah.
Cannot wait.
Yeah. And you're streaming that day one, right?
Well, as long as my ISP holds up,
I
like after work, be streaming the hell out of this game.
Cool, awesome. Carl, what's the next game, man? Could you do that for us?
Cruisin' Blast. It's coming to Switch. The arcade hit Cruisin' Blast is speeding onto Nintendo Switch. Blast your way through nearly 30 over-the-top tracks. Grab the wheel of 23 custom rides from licensed supercars to monster trucks and unicorns. 4 players can race together. Just pick your favorite vehicle and hit the road. Cool. Now, this actually exists in the arcades. Like I know, like it's a new like Cruisin' USA type game, right?
Yeah.
I guess there are still arcade games after all.
Yeah. All right. So next up on September 15th comes to PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town. The long-awaited brand new entry in the original farm life simulation franchise, known in Japan as Bokujo Monogatari, makes its debut on Nintendo Switch, bringing players more freedom than ever before to shape an untamed wilderness and customize their farm down to the very tile. A new cast of marriage candidates, a town that grows and thrives along with your farm, and a request system highlight the new features, all while retaining the core elements of the Story of Seasons series. Finding Earth sprites while exploring your farmland may lead you to mysterious, fantastical lands, such as gardens where the seasons never change, an island in the sky, or even the inside of a volcano. So yeah, it comes on September 15th. Yeah, Bokujo Monogatari. Yes.
That's already on Switch.
Yep.
and that's coming to PC now.
Yeah,
this is the
PC.
This is the Harvest Moon people, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like the successor to that franchise, which got like taken over and like ruined apparently.
Yeah. Okay, Burly, what's up next, man?
Fire Commander coming Wednesday, September 15th. Coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. Be a real hero. Put your life on the line every day to save others. That's not a hero. Lead a team of firefighters' intense tactical game where you fight against the force of nature.
All right.
You ever want to be a firefighter? This will help you.
It looks like a top-down, like real-time, like strategy firefighting thing. It looks kind of cool, I guess. Should be firefighter simulator now. Anyway, Merrick's Market. This is a chaotic crafting game about running a medieval shop. Take ownership of a small shop as you haggle, barter, and craft your way through a comical single-player campaign or team up with friends to supply the whole town. And that is PC, PS4, Xbox One on the 15th.
All right. Next up, Dustwind, The Last Resort, comes out on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and Series S on the 15th. Roma post-apocalyptic world. Oh, God, another post-apocalyptic game. Jesus.
Got to do it.
Roma, I'll say it again. Roma post-apocalyptic world as a nameless heroine and fight for your survival in the desolate wastelands. There you go, another wasteland game, Carl.
Okay. And this is
Another
like an isometric top-down.
Yeah.
It's isometric top-down. Is it RPG? I don't know.
Experience the moving single-player campaign in the real-time tactical action game, Dustin.
Okay.
The Last Resort. Find weapons, develop your character, defend yourself against looters, and become the wasteland's new leader. Coming out on September 15th. Burly, what's next?
Flynn, Son of Crimson. Coming September 15th to PC, PS4, Switch, Xbox One. Flynn, Son of Crimson is a handcrafted 2D action platformer that will take you to the journey of discovery and redemption. And I do like the art style for this little indie game.
Cool. All right. Carl, what's next, man?
Oh, it's cat lateral damage meowstered.
Yay. The kitty game.
The premier first-person destructive house cat simulator is back with a vengeance. Play as a mischievous cat, swat your human's possessions onto the floor, scratch up curtains, smash precious keepsakes, and show your owner who's boss. Okay. September 15th on PlayStation, PC, Switch, Xbox, everything, all the good stuff.
Sounds like an accurate description of my cat, Thomas.
I was going to say, are you getting this game for Thomas, Expat?
Yes. Yeah. Thomas will love this game, man. Yeah.
I'm curious, like, I'm looking at the pictures, and there's a lot more to this. I actually played the, like, original sort of, like, free, I think it was free, like, whatever it was. Like, it was just, like, a really basic, like, you're a cat in this room, and it's just, like, a physics, like, you can just knock things around. And that was it. It wasn't, like, a full game at that time.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Mr. Pumpkin 2, Kowloon Walled City, comes to Mac, PC, and Xbox One on September 15th. Mr. Pumpkin 2, Kowloon Walled City is a sequel to the Mr. Pumpkin franchise. Our protagonist, an insignificant guy with a pumpkin head, will explore the Kowloon Walled City of Hong Kong and witness the stories happening within these walls. The plot is set in the historical sites of Hong Kong and is a tribute to the golden age of Hong Kong films. Sounds interesting. So, yeah, it comes out on the 15th. All right, Burly, what's next?
We got next is Titan Chaser, which is already out on PC. It came out on PC to February of this year, but it's coming Wednesday, September 15th to PS4 and Xbox One. Titan Chaser is a surreal driving and walking experience where your job is to scout giant creatures and use the light to drive them off without fighting or killing.
I see. Cool. Carl, what's up next, man?
Omen of Sorrow. It's a horror fighting game in development since May 15th. Sorry, May 2015. Why is that?
Boy, that was a quick development cycle, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. It threw me off because, like, who cares when it's been in development since? Like, what is it? Okay. By the best talent from SCL with art by the internationally acclaimed Genzo Man, which apparently did Double Dragon Neon, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Hearthstone. Music by Francisco Cerda. Whatever, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
This is on Xbox One. Wait, that's it? No, that doesn't make sense. Confirmed PC. Okay, it already came out on other platforms. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Next up on the list, Arkin, the Dog Adventurer. So we have cat games and dog games coming up.
Woo.
So for Xbox Series X, 3 days left. Wednesday, September 15th, it comes out. A unique, explosive mixture of platformer and Arkanoid. Hit the ball, move around, jump, smash the bricks, destroy the enemies, destroy everything destroyable. So yeah, it comes out on the Series X. Yep. So versions for PC and Xbox One also will be coming. But yep. Next up, Burly.
Next up, we got Metallic Child coming Thursday, September 16th. Just for the PC, PS4 and PS5 and Switch have been announced for 2021, but they don't have dates. Having started this game, you accidentally connected with the android Rona, who is seeking help in the universe. Controlling Rona, who is unable to move on her own. You've helped her in fighting against the rebellions of man-made robots in the space laboratory Lifestream. With the use of various weapons and core abilities defeating huge enemies, you're getting closer to the truth behind the rebellion. You're the only one who can help her. Are you ready?
See. Cool.
Kind of a bad choice of a name because, like Rona is the nickname people give coronavirus.
Yeah.
Probably not their fault. They didn't realize at the time.
Yeah. Carl, what's next, man?
Game Deck? As an adaptive cyberpunk RPG. As a private detective, it's your job to solve crimes inside virtual worlds. What decisions will you make in a world where child slavery is a free-to-play game? Whoa, that is heavy. where murder over a game clan dispute is an everyday reality. Who will you become in the 22nd century? PC. On September 16th.
Okay. Next up, Project Winter. This has already been out on Xbox, so it's confirmed for PC, PS4, and Switch. So it comes out on September 16th. The perfect game to backstab your friends. Project Winter is an 8-person multiplayer game focusing on social deception and survival. Kind of sounds like everything these days. Communication and teamwork is essential to the survivor's ultimate goal of escape. Gather resources, repair structures, and brave the wilderness together. So yeah, action adventure indie game. So September 16th. Hey, Carl or Burly, what's next, man?
Well, to keep with the animal theme, we've got Skatebird coming September 16th. It's coming to your Linux, Mac, PC,
Linux.
Switch, Xbox One. Grind on bendy straws.
There's no Tony Hawks involved in that, yeah?
Just wait for the rest of the reading.
Okay.
You may get a Tony Hawk reference. Grind on bendy straws, kickflip over staplers, and carve killer lines through cardboard and sticky tape parks. Above all else, skatebirds try their best. And I'm sure there's going to be a Hawk in there or Hawk DLC.
Let's see.
And this is a Game Pass one, I remember.
Oh, this is Game Pass? Oh,
yeah.
Definitely got to try this just because the name alone is just like, what?
Okay, Carl, what's next, man?
The Amazing American Circus. This is a unique blend of a card game, tycoon, and an adventure game. It's probably doing a little too much there.
Yeah.
Build a strong deck of cards, gathering an amazing troop of mimes, jugglers, strongmen, and clowns. Manage your wandering circus camp while venturing across the 19th century United States. PC, PS4, Switch, Xbox One on the 16th. Sorry.
Okay, I have to say about this next game. Boy, this sure does. You look at the artwork on the cover here. Boy, that sure looks like Disney's going to be after these people, because this looks like Nemo, if anything else. I Am Fish comes out on September 16th for PC, PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. I Am Fish is a charming physics-based adventure starring 4 intrepid fish friends forcibly separated from their home in a pet shop fish tank. Kind of sounds like Nemo 2, right? Or the first Nemo game, I think it was. Or first Nemo movie. Over the course of the game, you join them as they swim, fly, roll, and chomp their way to the open ocean from the far-flung corners of Bernardshire, the smallest county in England, in their bid for freedom and to reunite once again. Come on, man. This is Nemo.
Boy.
Hey, come on, man.
Totally
like some kind of ripoff.
Yeah. Come on, man. Comes out on the 16th.
Now,
Burly, you're next.
We got Eastward. Not an animal game so far. September 16th, coming to Mac, PC, and Switch. Eastward is an adventure game with RPG elements, set in a beautiful, detailed, decaying world where society is starting to collapse as the human population shrinks to an all-time low. As the world around falls to ruin, you play as a hard-working digger, John, who must guide a mysterious girl named Sam through dangerous, decaying cities inhabited by strange monsters and even stranger people. Inspired by 90s Japanese animation, the visual style of Eastward has been brought to life using a combination of modern and innovative 3D lighting system and a rich retro pixel artwork.
Cool. All right. Carl, what's next, man?
Murder Diaries. Figure out what happened, explore fascinating yet almost surreal landscapes, and enjoy the thrilling storytelling. Collect pieces of the story while freely floating through related environments and immerse yourself into an intriguing story filled with blood and murder unlike you have ever seen before. Really trying to sell it there.
Yeah, I was going to say, man. Like
PC
you've never seen before. Come on.
Look at these screenshots. I think I've seen stuff like this before.
Yeah. All right. Okay, next up on the list, Earth Marines. Earth Marines coming September 17th. Earth Marines is a dynamic top-down shooter in which you need to save the planet from dangerous zombie brain eaters. Comes out on the 17th for PC and Xbox One. So, yeah, that's all. That's all they say about it. So, Burly, what's next?
Okay, Tales of Iron, coming Friday, September 17th. Coming to PS4, PC, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series. Tales of Iron is an epic RPG adventure with punishing, brutal combat. As Reggie, heir to the throne, you must embark on a perilous quest to reclaim your kingdom, explore a deceivingly charming world, assemble a band of brave companions, banish the merciless Frog Clan.
Cool. All right. Carl, what's next, man?
Wow, it looks like Burly skipped Origami 2.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, but that's fine. Origami 2 is a third-person stealth game where you play as an assassin with the power to control the shadows. Join the Shadow Clan, fight the Invitor armies to protect your people. Okay. I think that might be a typo.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Origami 2 is PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X. And this is a Game Pass game, I remember as well.
I knew you were going to say that. I was just about to say that, Carl. Game Pass. Yeah,
gotta say it. Now this looks like a kind of like a Tenchu type stealth ninja game. So
yeah. Good stuff. All right, next up on the list, Toem, a photo adventure, comes out on Mac, PC, PS5, and Switch on September 17th. Set off on a delightful expedition and use your photographic eye to uncover the mysteries of the magical Toem in this hand-drawn adventure game. Chat with quirky characters, solve their problems by snapping neat photos, and make your way through a relaxing landscape. Yeah, so interesting little, like, almost like a pencilated type of, artwork style of game here. So, comes out on the 17th. Hey, Burly, what's next, man?
Severed Steel coming Friday, September 17th, coming to PC just this date, but later on it'll come to PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series. A stylish and visceral single-player FPS featuring a fluid stunt system, destructible voxel environments, loads of bullet time, unique one-arm protagonist, and a dark electronic soundtrack.
Cool. All right, Carl, what's next, man?
Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant's Kingdom.
Yay.
This is the Switch release. This game's already been out before. September 17th, we enter the magical world of Ni no Kuni in the sequel to the role-playing masterpiece developed by Level 5. You don't need to read anymore. We know what this is.
Yep. I played it on PS4. It was a pretty game. Yep. So, next up on the list, Nexomon. Comes out on PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, Series S on September 17th. Catch, evolve, and collect over 300 unique Nexomon. Assemble the ultimate Nexomon team to save your friends and save the world. Clash against legendary champions and become a hero in this epic journey. So, yeah.
This is actually a game I actually have pre-ordered on my Switch.
Really?
Because I saw it on the new games and it was like $11. I had enough of the eShop coins that paid for it. So I was like,
cool. All right. What's up next, Burly?
I'm going to butcher this name. Absoloth, End of Gods, coming September 17th. It's already been out on PC since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it actually? Because it's just saying PS4 and PS5 confirmed. Oh, Xbox One. Yeah. So it's coming to your Xbox One and Xbox Series. In this future Viking horror, you awaken in a sanctuary of steel and concrete, built to research and exploit the worlds of Yggdrasil and to the house and artifact. Buried in the earth eons ago, unveil the secrets of mythology, the artifacts, and the realms of Yggdrasil and Absoloth, End of Gods.
Cool. All right. Carl, what's next, man?
I'm not going to read Murder Diaries again.
Yeah.
Apparently that is coming a day later on Xbox.
Right.
So Song in the Smoke is immerses players in a mysterious prehistoric world full of strange beasts where they must craft, forage, hunt, and fight to survive. Awoken by a three-headed crow at the edge of a forest, Song in the Smoke players will travel through a world as varied as it is beautiful, moving between 8 stages. And I'm not going to read all of that. PC, PS4, September 18th.
Yeah. All right. So that's our list, everyone. I guess I think it's pretty easy to say this week's the big game for this week is Deathloop, right, Burly?
That and that cat game.
Yeah, the cat game. I want to play that. Yeah, I'm going to play it for Thomas.
Remastered.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Deathloop. Yeah, that's everybody's looking forward to that one. I think most people. Yeah.
Don't speak for me. Come on now.
It's
Carl,
not
what's your game?
So it can't be for Carl right now.
Yeah. Carl's got to wait a year like me to get it on Game Pass, I guess.
I mean, even if it was coming, it's not a game that I'm hyped for. Like I just don't really play that type of stuff that much. I would try it, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I have a PS5 and I could get Deathloop and play it now, but Lost Judgment's right around the corner, man. And then, of course, I'm going to be playing Kena as well. So, yeah.
You only got so much time in the day, right?
That's right. So I'll just wait to get Deathloop on Game Pass with Carl.
I actually really want to play Origami 2.
Yeah, Origami 2 is also on Game Pass. So, yeah.
Yeah, because that I'll have access to that. It's on the 17th. And I used to love Tenchu. So if it's anything like that, I'll be happy to enjoy it.
Cool. All right. And with that, I want to give all you viewers and listeners, especially our listeners for the podcast out there, information regarding our additional series in video and audio format. We'd like to let all you viewers and listeners out there know about the additional content, in addition to the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News podcast and the post show on Patreon, YouTube, and free podcast services that we put out in video as well as audio format, and where to find it. So over on Patreon, we have a special supplemental series for the podcast called the Arena Extra Take that focuses on spoiler and spoiler-free gaming reviews, game industry-related news discussions, and interviews with special guests. That goes up in early access for Tier 2 and Tier 3 patrons at patreon.com/thearena_podcast for 2 days in video format, then is uploaded to Expat2020 Gaming and the Arena Citadel YouTube channels, as well as to free podcast services in audio format. You can find the website for the audio version at our Podbean website at thearenaextratake.podbean.com. Also on Patreon in early access for the first 2 days for Tier 3 patrons is the Marvelous Marvel Discussion Arena, where we discuss all things Marvel. This series will be in early access for patrons, 2 days in video format, then will be uploaded to the Arena Citadel YouTube channel for all to enjoy, as well as free podcast services in audio format. And you can check out our Podbean website for the audio version as well at marvelousmarvel.podbean.com. And thank you all for your continued support, and we appreciate you and look forward to bringing you all more exciting content. For those of you who would like to support us and our shows over on Patreon, for additional information regarding tiers and how to become a patron, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. And finally, come follow us over on Twitter at twitter.com/thearena_AMPGNP, which stands for a multi-platform gaming news podcast. And for those of you who have an account on Discord, you're all welcome to join the Arena Podcast Discord community to discuss our shows, the latest episode topics, as well as other various topics related to gaming, pop culture, and entertainment with our community members. So those are all there for your disposal to have fun and enjoy. So before we conclude the episode, I want to let everyone know where you can find me on social media. You can find my general content creator site at expat2020.live and my YouTube channel for gaming content at youtube.com/expat2020 gaming and the podcast channel for gaming, entertainment, and pop culture at youtube.com/thearena citadel. My other social media links to Twitter, Instagram, the Arena Podcast Discord server, and the podcast website are at Linktree at linktr.ee/expat2020. And I'm also a live streamer and a Twitch affiliate on twitch.tv/expat2020, where I do occasional gaming live streams. And I'm on our new Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/thearena_podcast, where we do special event live streams and gaming news reactions for the podcast on occasion. So that does it for me. Burly, where can people find you on social media, man?
You can find me on Twitter at BurlyMenGaming to get little updates on what I'm doing and for the channel. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BurlyMenGaming.
Yeah. All right. And Carl, where can people find you on social media, man?
I'm just on Twitter at Turn-Based Carl.
Awesome. All right, man. Okay, so to end the show, our indie recording artist spotlight. This week's spotlight is on Vic Davi. Originally from New Jersey and currently based in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, Vic has an extensive music background with his roots in acoustic guitar. Branching out in college, he expanded his horizons with jazz, electronic, and cinematic music, shaping his unique and profoundly honest sound. With 2 albums under his belt, Vic strives to contribute to the world of music in a meaningful way. From his album titled Red Letter, and the song is called Look Deep and Spit the Truth. This has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 53. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burly of BurlyMenGaming on Twitch and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
Falling back asleep with the memory buried deep. We are one in all we are. Here and now, sit fixed apart. Someone tell me, lay it out. Where we went wrong in our doubt. Holding hands here with our sons. So plead for everyone. Singing grace and peace to you. Mirrored fangs and helpless youth. We were once a righteous few. Look deep and spit the truth. What have we become? What have we become? What have we become? What have we become? Sister, my sister, do you feel something yet? We're a little or plenty, bowing down nonetheless. My brother, dear brother, hold fast in the midst. All is working against you, but you've got confidence. It's the taste on my tongue, it's the tang in my mouth. Double down on the cause, little room for the doubt. It's the body of bread, it's the blood and the wine. We were once a righteous few. Look deep and spit the truth. What have we become? 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 What have we become?